Wildwood, Missouri. A calm 40-minute drive from our school. I love living out here. I mean, it's like living with art. A timeless masterpiece. One undeniably good, true, and beautiful. I mean, it's the gift of creation, right? One our Lord makes clear is designed for life. I wanted to see if St. Louis City followed the same model. And if it didn't, how do I fix it?
Gives residents and others in visitors, whatever, in an area a place to get away from all the hustle and bustle of the big city. You really need those little respites from the big buildings and all the asphalt and concrete, and get somewhere where you can unwind a bit and enjoy. It's the people, in my mind, uh, that give a city life.
I tried to find the person who did design for life. Or as Mr. Heller said, for the people. Because that's who give cities life. And the person I stumbled upon was Frederick Law Olmsted. He was accredited as the father of landscape architecture, and his regard for nature was truly inspiring. He was said to paint with lakes and wooded slopes, with lawns and banks and forest-covered hills, with mountainsides and ocean views. He breathed life to our nation and beyond. Even our city's own, Washington University. He believed that it was one great purpose of the park: to supply to the hundreds of thousands of tired workers a specimen of God's handiwork, not men's.
Folks who live there. So to me, what makes a great city, what makes it livable, is all the mix of those things. Obviously, you have to feel safe. You have to have fun things to do. All of it mixes together. Here in the U.S., it's a little different. We're more spread out, but I think that still holds true. You want to be able to, if you're in a walkable environment like down here, maybe like the Central West End, you want all that stuff accessible. In the suburbs, you still have parks, you still have things that people want to go do, whether that's play sports or just take a nice long walk. It's a valuable part of what makes cities the place where you want to be. that walkability, I think, is important, but walkability only happens when you build the environment right. So, and that, again, that can mean green spaces or something as simple as walking down a street that's got street trees and
Yeah.
it feels like a place you want to be.
Places like the Central West End, Clayton, and City Garden are examples of how beautification can make our cities more livable and more enjoyable for the people that inhabit them. What if instead of just trying to make our cities livable, we started making them beautiful as well? I mean, like Mr. Heller said, these places are places you want to be at. And if that's the case, what's stopping us?
Finding resources in the city, financial resources in city government to maintain parks and do things is always a challenge. When done well, they're a real asset, and they can increase property values and help the city by increasing property taxes and everything and how they're doing. TrailNet and Great Rivers Greenway and all kinds of folks who are working to try to make the more dense areas like the city of St. Louis and some other areas, the inner ring suburbs, more walkable. So
Yeah.
that means whether that's bike paths or the the sidewalks and little by little, cities are doing more and more where they're trying to uh, do what's it called, like road diets, right? So instead of having all these lanes and lanes and lanes in the city, or like going down Tucker or some of these streets, we reduce the number of lanes and the sidewalk gets wider. Or like right now, they're on Tucker, they're doing a two-way cycle track from up by Washington Avenue down to Shota. Those types of things over and over start to make a difference where people feel like, yeah, I want to get out. And if you look at the health benefits, there's study after study that talks about, people who get out into nature on a regular basis and take a walk. And that to me, nature can be like walk through the art grounds, right? Um, they're healthier.
Here in St. Louis and all over our nation, there's parts of cities that aren't really designed for life. Places that have been left behind and abandoned. I mean, is it too late for them? Or can we bring them back somehow?
It's not knocking down buildings and making it less dense, keeping your density, but adding those things.
After learning so much about landscape architecture, I wanted to apply it myself. While these are only rough sketches, it gives you a rough idea of what stuff like this can do to an area and the life it breathes into it.
Simply in St. Louis, we could do much better with just simply like street trees. Well, what it does is summertime people walk, and in the spring and fall we walk, right? So summertime, if you have tree shade in your walk, it's not so hot, right? And in like a downtown environment, street trees can lower the temperature almost like 8 degrees. All those things do make a difference, as you say. It's additive. It might just be the street trees, but like we have one block where we're buying a bunch of multifamily buildings along Washington Avenue. Street trees are great. The buildings are all full. The street storefronts are full. People look at that block and they feel good.
As sustainability becomes more and more real each day, it's important to remember that we start with small-scale changes. And when we design for life, those small changes come naturally.